Okay. Oh gosh. It backed out a little bit too.
We're here.
Welcome to Flak.
Sorry about our little bit of a temporary difficulty at the beginning there.
Yeah.
Oops.
Anyway,
Normally this thing takes a good 10 or 12 seconds from the time you hit go live until it has the live button. It did it immediately. As soon as Melody hit go live, it was live. That's why I was a little slow on the take for the music. So sorry.
Okay. That's all right.
In case you haven't noticed, there are three of us here today. Melody will explain that.
Okay, this is my friend Lisa King.
Hello.
We met because, well, I was a big fan of the a cappella group Pentatonics. I must call them Pentecost.
No.
It's probably closer to it.
Oh, the musical group.
Yeah. The
they do the Christmas music.
Right.
Yeah.
I've heard them before.
Right.
Her nephew, Avi, was formerly the bass for the group. He's now gone on his own, and that's how we met, and we became buddies. And I don't listen to Pentatonics. Anyway, Lisa, I just found out when she came over for the weekend. And by the way, this is a heroic lady. She has done amazing things in her life, none of which I'm going to talk about. But just accept she's amazing. Oh, yes, sir.
Just to tell you, your audio and video are not synced even close.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a little better.
Okay.
So just play it by ear. Sometimes it'll catch up eventually.
Okay. It's like a Godzilla movie, basically.
Right.
Yeah, now it's okay. No, it's like watching Amazon Prime.
Oh God.
Have you ever noticed that with Amazon Prime that their audio and video get out of sync?
Very often, yes.
Yes. Or now, do you ever have it when it comes on and it goes?
Oh yeah, it makes weird noises.
And you have to go back. You have to go back and restart it, and then it fixes it usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon's got some serious problems that they need to work on.
Yeah. And and I think part of it is the NSA and CIA being friendly with them.
Did you like the Amazon ad that I sent you? The Boar ad instead of bored?
Oh, yes.
I was like, don't they have anybody checking the spelling on these things?
And listen, if Fox News didn't know Frederick Douglass from the other Douglas, Anyway, let us get back to the paranormal.
Oh, just to bring this up, there was one time on Channel 4 where they were putting the names of the automakers on this board behind them, and they spelled Chrysler Chrysler.
Oh, God. Well, I love watching.
Wait a second. I'm trying to remember how it's spelled now.
Yeah.
They spelled it wrong. Let's put it that way.
There you go. There was a Chrysler watch company once upon a time, spelled totally differently with a K, and they had it as a sponsor of the live television show. And
Well, they had a company that made radios. It was called Chrysler.
Yeah, this was Chrysler. It
Oh.
was pronounced like that, so they got into trouble. But anyway, this lady I just found out is the great granddaughter of the original owner of the Goldfield Hotel.
Mhm.
And Goldfield Hotel is the famous hotel where the Ghost Adventures people had their first lockdown overnight, and where they had a brick thrown at them by a ghost and ran out. And as those of us who don't much like Zach Bagans love to watch the video of him screaming out, going, "Help me get out of here!" And anyway, he finally broke through a window, and it was okay.
So was it done by Tyler Clay?
No,
I was confused. Is it Tyler or Turner Clay?
it's Tyler.
Tyler. Because there's another guy named Turner Clay
I
that does.
No,
I was getting the two of them confused.
there's another writer named Melody Clark too. And,
Yes, I've actually looked you up and found her before. So
yeah. So we've had to. She's going to use a middle initial, and so am I. So. Anyway, and all of this, and I had no idea of this. And her great grandfather was a judge
Yes.
in the local area.
Mhm.
So
hey, we had a judge in our family.
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, what was his name? The law west of the Pecos, Judge.
Hanging Judge Parker was
Yeah,
and he was like
he was like Judge Roy Bean, but not as well publicized.
but our great grandfather worked for him.
Mm.
And
Oh, I thought it was him.
no, he was Hanging Judge Parker was a fourth cousin twice removed, but he worked for our great grandfather worked for him, and that's how we got the job, I think. But anyway, we have all kinds of weird people in our family. But Lisa's great grandfather, we just found this out not long ago. He apparently had family money, and it was $300,000 to build the Goldfield Hotel.
That was a lot of money at that time.
So that's
In
what we were
1908.
asking. Right. So story has it is my grandpa, he was quite the gambler and quite the drinker. And so what we found out is that we think he married my great grandmother, and she's the one who had the money. And so they had the hotel when it was very first built. And what my grandmother told me was that a man had come in, and I guess it was like some kind of kerosene heating, but a man had come in and he'd been drunk, and he threw his coat on one of the heaters and burnt the hotel and started a huge fire. And that's when I believe the first people were killed, and that was within the first couple of years that the hotel had been built.
That's what started the major haunting.
Right. And so, so and then from there, my grandparents moved to Bishop, California. And that's where my grandfather was a judge at the time. So that's kind of where the first hauntings come in. Did we look up how many deaths there were in that hotel?
We didn't.
But I remember my grandmother telling me that people had died, and I guess it was, so they were out of the motel. They sold it after that and moved.
So the hotel is still there?
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
Is it in your family still, or?
No. They sold it at the time after it caught fire and that tragedy happened. And then they were, I believe that was like, they felt so bad about it that they sold it and left. So, this was in, what did we say, 1908?
Yeah.
Something around that time was when it was built. And, yeah.
It's
So
an old
old.
building.
And they've had, if you look on Goldfield, the hauntings, there's a lot of groups that go in there and do, ghost hunts in there. I think that
Now,
they probably
what
rent it
city?
out.
What's
What
that?
city is this?
Goldfield.
Goldfield, Nevada.
Mm-hmm. And what
'Cause
we
that
said, it was one of the biggest towns at the time.
Yeah, it was the biggest town in Nevada at the time.
During the gold rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the year of the San Francisco earthquake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1908.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of tragedy that year,
Mm-hmm.
which probably
There was
fueled
a-
the haunting.
Right. There was a couple I think it burned a couple times, and then it said it was
Yeah.
flooded.
Yeah, they had a flood.
Half the town
once.
burnt down. Yeah.
It was just what was it? Trying to think of what year the Titanic sunk.
Laura,
1907.
I think it was like 1910.
Well, I remember my grandma telling me there was hardly any water there. So if something started on fire, it burnt. It wasn't, there wasn't a lot of,
Yeah, you didn't call
Yeah.
the fire department.
no. And, they had to bring in water through buckets to, so that, if a business started on fire, that sucker was pretty much was going to burn down.
I am looking up when the Titanic.
I looked it up.
Oh, you did.
1912.
1912.
Okay.
April 7th, 1912.
There you go. Well,
So that was a bad decade.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
no kidding.
Yeah.
All right. We have a very short-timed surprise guest from my brother. I know who he is. But this is somebody we have not seen in many years. We're going to ask him the paranormal question. But you will all meet him in a moment.
I haven't met him yet.
Yeah.
Where's he
Well,
at?
you
We're working
did
on
meet him. You did meet him.
No, I'm just meeting now.
Yeah, I gotcha. Oh, snide reference to Mel. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm looking for his.
Singer or something.
There he is.
Okay.
All right. The link has been sent. So this person used to come over as a baby to our house, and he was carried in by his father, and his father. Well, I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway.
You're creating suspicion.
I know. Shut up, Mel. Okay. We hope he'll be here in a moment. Until then, you have an interesting ghost experience you had in a working environment.
Yeah. Yes. I was raised in Bishop, and I was hired to clean a apartment one time, and anyways, just things just kept happening. I didn't really believe in any of that kind of stuff. I guess until it happens,
Exactly.
I thought people were just, I don't know. Anyways, I heard footsteps, and I had some cleaning problems. I would clean something, I'd come back the next day, and it was just like I had not been there. I sprayed an oven and closed the oven, and when I came back, the whole thing had sprayed out like something had blown it out. Well, when I turned the key in after I was done cleaning it, come to find out that the property management lady had told me that they actually had a pastor there to pray with the people that were living there at the time, because they kept hearing, and they knew it was haunted. She didn't tell me that before I went in there.
Oh, naturally not.
So yeah, that was my first time ever. Well, my first and last time I ever really had but I definitely am a believer that there is, something out there. you know,
Uh, Melody,
Yes, sir.
we just got a comment from Jessica Wolf,
Oh, okay.
and she would like to know how Richard Halpern is doing as Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah, he's fine. He's doing best as Richard Halpern, which is his actual name. And he's an actor, and he's playing Spiro Agnew right now in a project. And Richard's on here on occasion, and I guess it's time for me to call him up and get him back on. But we don't tend to discuss Richard as a regular feature. But yeah, that's he's fine. He's happy and healthy, and last I heard, he was as other than the Agnew news, he was working with another director, and he's an actor, so he's working. And every once in a while, he does his Austin Powers thing.
It doesn't seem like you're very happy with this Austin Powers thing.
I know, I'm fine with it. I'm just tired of being asked about it.
Now, Jessica Wolf is a listener.
I know, but Jessica is a very big fan of Richard's, at least as Austin Powers. So.
I will do some research for you, Jessica, during the week. And next week, I will know something about Richard Halpern. Right now, the only thing I know of is that you are a fan of his. So I don't have any more information.
See, if you watch the show called Flak, you'd know that I did a long interview with Richard Halpern.
Well, I haven't seen any previous shows other than the ones I've been on.
Okay. Well, that was the week out. So
I'm sure Jessica has seen more episodes of Flak than I have.
Probably. But no, Richard was one of the important forces behind the Christmas Carol production they did at Christmas time, with all of the past Dark Shadows performers who are still with us, and one who no longer is anyway. And Mitch Ryan was a part of the production and passed.
Jessica, tell your mom I said happy birthday.
There you go. And anyway.
As Jessica was just telling me that yesterday was her mom's birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, happy birthday to Jessica's mom. That's very cool. Any day you have a birthday is one day you're breathing. So.
And it's nice to still have your mom.
Very nice. We did not have ours for many years.
Many years.
And we lost her when I was 19. And
she was 54.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And it was, I think she died in 81.
80.
Was it 80?
It was like 2 weeks.
Not too long after we got back from our honeymoon.
Yeah.
So that was 1980.
Yeah. It was very close to when John Lennon was murdered.
Have you gotten a chance to watch Get Back?
I already watched it. Oh, it's spectacular. If you're not a McCartney fan before, you will be after you watch it.
Well, it's amazing the quality of the video.
Yeah.
On something that was shot in the 1960s.
Well, he totally remastered it. He went down.
They must have. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you noticed who the producers were.
Yeah, Peter Jackson.
Well, I think he's the director.
Oh, okay.
I think the producers are John Lennon's wife,
Yeah.
George Harrison's wife,
Olive Harris.
and Paul and Ringo.
Yeah.
Those were the four. So
well,
they put them.
Paul and Ringo were in the mastering of the audio. So.
Yeah, the producers are just the people that put the money up.
Yeah.
To make the thing, and it was very well done.
Oh yeah, Paul went in basically and sat down with Peter Jackson and says, "Okay, here's everything." He had the original masters, everything. He says, "Do what you can with it." And he says, "Okay, what's your budget?" He says, "Money's no object." He said, "This is going to be our legacy." And he says, "I don't want anybody to have any kind of political direction on it. I want it to be what's truthfully there on the film." And so Peter Jackson took it, and he had Paul put no limits on it. I think Olivia Harrison had a couple of things. She didn't want George's religion at the time to be too forefront, but
well, they talked about that quite a bit, actually.
They talked about it more.
Well, like John, they asked no one John. I think it was Ringo.
Yeah.
What he thought of the Hare Krishnas, and he said not much.
Well, that's Ringo, you know. He was always very. In fact, he was still a meat eater when they went to India, and he had food brought in. And
yeah, he said pretty much that he didn't go along with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, well, Paul, when they got there, pretty much realized what a load of bullshit it was, especially when the Maharishi was running around after the girls. You know, there were like 12-year-old, 14-year-old girls up there, and he's running around after them. So, anyway, he was no hero to have, that's for sure. And anyway,
it looks like your other guest is.
Yeah, I'm afraid we have
not made it.
Not made. Perhaps we'll reschedule him for another time.
Yeah, some probably came up.
Probably, yeah, you know. And also, he might have. I said 12 Pacific, but it's possible, you know. That can be confusing. So anyway, you'll find out who it is next. You know already. Mark guessed.
I have a pretty good idea.
It was our little stepbrother from many years ago. And the last time we saw him, yes, many years ago, he was 1.5 years. And he's now a grown man with a family. And so.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, he's done very well for himself. And he's got a lovely family and a lovely business. And
I mean, we got lots of distant relatives. I don't know. Does Uncle Leroy ever send stuff to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On occasion. Yeah.
I get his joke emails and.
Oh yeah. I know he used to send a lot of it to Beverly, but.
Yeah. And he asked me to send him all the scans I had of Uncle Claude's.
Oh yeah.
You know, the notice he got from the Marine Corps that he had been killed, and I don't know if Lisa knows about our Uncle Claude.
I think I've mentioned him, but we had an uncle, our father's only full brother on both sides, who was killed in World War II in the Philippines. And they sent my grandmother a plaque, as they do. And we never got to know him at all because our father was just a kid when he was killed. So That's who Uncle Claude is.
Oh, okay.
And we have Uncle Leroy, who is their brother, who collects a lot of the family stuff. He's done a lot of the genealogy.
Yeah. So he's a cousin?
Who, Leroy?
Yeah. What
He's
would
our
that make?
uncle.
Is he he's a full, yeah, I guess he's a half uncle. Yeah.
Well, that half crap is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, just so you
Which
can
half?
specify.
Yeah,
I've been thinking it would be nice to go there and meet him, but
we should.
Because I don't know how much longer he's gonna be around.
He's younger. I mean, he's in his mid-60s, I think, because he was a late in life baby for our grandfather. So, and of course, how our grandfather got pregnant, we'll never know.
Wow.
My friends were out there making the joke anyway, so I may as well.
Well, we had two members of our family that got pregnant at 16, including our mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that this morning about how it.
Well, our mother was like, she looked like a cross between Jane Mansfield and Marilyn Monroe.
She was
really pretty. And she got hooked up with this Jimmy Schulman guy, and he got her pregnant at 16, which is the only reason that my grandmother and grandfather signed off on her getting married at 16.
Yeah.
And then our half-sister did the same thing.
Yeah.
Got pregnant at 16.
But
hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Stuff happens.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But, they got married, had a good life, and Laura
and Bill, and, So
Laura's the one she was pregnant with at 16. So,
but, it's amazing to me with all the stuff that's come through. Our family is well and healthy, and we've gone through so much stuff. So, thank heavens.
Well, you've broken a hip.
I broke both hips.
Both? Oh, that's right. You did before.
Yeah. Well, one of the hips was from arthritis. It had worn away. But the other hip was just because I'm stupid. And I fell back.
And I've had cancer twice. And I'm still kicking.
I didn't really. You had.
Oh, well, one was skin cancer.
Okay.
One was skin cancer, so that wasn't serious. The other one was serious.
Yeah.
That one took some doing to get rid of.
Yeah.
Radiation. I'm still with us.
Okay, how many years now have you been?
It was 2007.
Oh, okay. So it's been a number of years. All right.
Yes, it's been 16 years since I had it.
Good. Stay healthy.
I think it took 2 years before I had completely eradicated it. So it was like 2009 when I got rid of it all.
Yeah, it was funny. I went to my doctor and said, my brother had cancer. And he's a man. Said, yeah. And it was cancer, and it was a rare form. I said, yeah. And he goes, worry about your heart. Okay. He says, your heart is, So that's why I'm obsessive about my heart health. Anyway, this lady, do you mind my discussing your...
No.
Okay. This lady kicked heroin.
Wow.
You know how rare that is?
That's really hard. I've known people that have said numerous times they were gonna kick heroin and heroin kicked them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I only know 2 people who did. One is my son, Ben, and the other is this lady. And
Well, one of them that's still on it is somebody who you have met.
oh
He
no,
was the best man at my wedding.
oh no, really?
Jim Coker, that
Yeah.
real handsome surfer guy. He got
Why in the world would he need?
his girlfriend.
Oh,
He got hooked up with this girl, and she was doing heroin. Got him going on it, and he's a wreck.
Yeah.
Oh.
They have medication now that it helps so much with people that have that problem. I mean, like they don't. It's nothing like we used to have to go through. There's hope. I mean, absolutely. With if they'll go to the doctor and be honest with them and tell them they want to get clean, they'll help them get clean and stay clean. And you don't have to go through the hell like you used to have to. Those days are gone. So absolutely,
so he's my hero.
Oh.
Oh,
Hang
is
on
that
just a
Connie?
second. No, but Georgia.
Oh, hi, Georgia. How you doing, sweetie?
She can't hear you. I'm on
Oh, okay. That's right. I keep forgetting.
headphones. She said hello.
Hi.
Be careful, don't knock my cup off. She's playing robot arms with the.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
No, Mommy.
It's okay, Georgia.
Yeah, he said it's okay.
Mommy came in to get her. Hey, Al.
She said hello again.
She's got on each
Yes.
arm.
That's
Georgia.
so cute.
Ingenious right there.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Ingenuity.
I always be in this podcast.
Yes, but Georgia, you can't hear the people. Here, let me unplug the headphones because she can't hear you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Ed. Hi, Georgia. How you doing, honey?
She said, "How are you doing, honey?"
Good.
Good.
Okay, Georgia, there are people watching us, so I have to keep talking.
Yeah, because otherwise it just could be me, and I have nobody. Well, I have Lisa here.
I gotta put the headphones back on, sweetie. Okay?
Okay. Bye.
Hi, Susie. She's so cute.
Because I can't hear that melody.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. You must tell your daughter that we saw Killer Clowns from Outer Space last night.
Yes, we
And
did.
you had never seen it?
I'd never seen it.
Oh my gosh.
And let me say, that's horrible.
I like it.
We did, but
The
we,
visuals are fun, the colors, all of that. But the acting,
oh my gosh. So 80s. We loved it. We loved it.
we enjoyed it.
You had one well-known actor, Vernon Maxwell, that played the cop.
Right. That's what she's saying. Yeah.
Now you know who the old man was?
Yes, yeah. Royal Dano.
You know what Royal Dano is famous for?
What?
He's the voice of Abraham Lincoln on
yeah.
Great Moments with
And-
Mr.
and
Lincoln.
Disneyland, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he was the first one to go.
Yeah.
Yep. He did a movie when he was younger called Young Abraham Lincoln.
Mm.
And Walt Disney heard the movie and liked his voice and hired him to dub the voice of the audio animatronics at Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Here we go.
There you go.
Do they still have that?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
still there?
there.
Yeah. There are groups that I won't go into that wish to have it removed.
Yeah, well,
Oh my
they're
gosh.
idiots.
Anyways.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's going to stay.
Mhm.
I hope so. 'Cause I like it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't go to Disneyland anymore, but
That'd be like taking Small World.
Yeah,
That's a staple of Disneyland. You can't
Oh,
do that.
Although there was several boatloads of people who got stuck for an hour and a half in small world.
How could you get stuck for an hour and a half? Because that
Something
could
happened in the,
because we were on Pirates of the Caribbean once,
yeah.
and it caught fire. One of the mechanisms inside the robot shorted out, and the skid's rubber.
Yeah.
The rubber started burning, and it filled the area with smoke. So they stopped all the boats. They turned on the lights inside the building, which really
totally.
dispels it. It ruins the image. Then they brought these little things out to the boats from the side. It's like a piece of wood that comes out from the bank, and all these doors opened, and people helped you out of the boats to get you out of there.
Oh yeah.
And then they led you through these hallways, which looked like an office building.
Yeah.
So it really messed up the image.
Totally ruins the image. Well, they were saying, why would you sit in there for an hour and a half? This comic said, yeah, the water is like 3 inches high. It's be a man and crawl into the water, get up on the thing, and walk out. Yeah, they were stuck.
Well, I think it's a little deeper now. They redid the whole thing because Americans are getting fatter.
Yeah.
And the boats were bottoming out on the fiberglass thing. See, all
some of us are getting thinner.
Yep. But you're not compensating for everybody.
I'm trying, God knows. And Lisa's skinny anyway. So.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, you're certainly slender.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway.
Anywho.
I'm not slender, huh?
You're getting there.
I'm getting there. Anyway, the ghost news for today. I had some that I was going. Yes.
I'm trying to. Was that who was the one that was asking about the 501? Was that Jessica Wolf or was that some? That was Kim Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kim Hall. That was Kim Hall. Kim, hopefully you're watching. I have been trying my best to find that footage on that school for paranormal investigators, but she apparently took the footage down off of YouTube. I don't know. I guess she didn't like us using her footage. I thought it was promoting her school, so I didn't think it was going to do her any harm. It should help her. And she didn't complain to me. She didn't complain to Facebook, but I can no longer find that footage. I'm going to keep trying. And once I do, and also we had some trouble finding the old episodes of Flak. Now, I found about maybe 20 or 25 of them, and I copied them over to this thing called Dropbox, which is like if you've got big files you want to share with people, you can copy them to Dropbox, and then they can download them from there. You can't email big files to people. At least I can't. I don't. My system won't allow that. So I copied them to Dropbox, and Melody's going to get them posted to the Flak thing as soon as she can.
Figured out how.
Yeah.
We'll get them up there, and they'll be available for everybody.
We're kind of limited on what we can do because Flak has me on probation. And
no, Flak doesn't.
Facebook. I'm sorry. Facebook has me on probation. Now, let me explain something to you. I am on probation for telling somebody to blow up a photograph in order to see something more clearly. And Facebook said that that was fostering criminal activity. That I was promoting violence. Now, how exactly that's promote? And, if they think you're doing something, you can't do anything about it.
And
There
yeah.
Go ahead.
Here's the irony. I have a friend on Facebook who brings me back, who was once on the FBI top 30 most, with a bullet, whatever. And she was a member of the Weather Underground. And she still carries around a knife in her boot. And she never gets, they never pick at her account. So I've been in Facebook jail for listing what they said were animals on the marketplace. They weren't animals. They were stuffed animals. They were plush. And the idiots couldn't tell the difference between real animal and plush, especially since one was Stitch.
Oh.
And, Stitch didn't look like any animal. So, anyway, the Facebook people are morons.
I think we should get a group together, and all of us should get off of Facebook.
I agree.
There's another group. There is another web page. It's called Gab. It looks just like Facebook, except it's green instead of blue. It works great.
Yeah.
You can friend people, everything just the same. I think we should all move to Gab.
Well, I think that we should all move somewhere. I would have to look at the backgrounds of all these different places. And I'm not going to fall into a Facebook again where they were collecting data on us to hand to the Chinese.
Well, they all do that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, the worst one is TikTok.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
TikTok, if you people let your children watch TikTok, you're stupid.
Yes.
Because that stuff, it's indoctrinating our children.
Yep.
Watch some of it. Watch some of the stuff your children are watching.
Yeah.
You don't pay any attention because your kids are watching it.
Well,
Sit down and watch it.
yeah.
And you'll stop them from watching it, I tell you.
Take TikTok off of all of your media. And
Well-
I have it on one of my devices in order to promote our podcast because there are billions of people on that thing. But
Hang on one second. Jessica, I don't know what you mean by Instagram too. That I've never been on Instagram, so I don't think that they have put me on probation because I haven't ever been on there.
Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Oh, okay. Then if it's owned by Facebook, I'm probably on probation on Instagram too, but I've never been on there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you all something you're not going to believe. I have never posted anything on Twitter.
That's amazing. I have.
Nope. I never did Twitter either.
Never been on Twitter. I tried to join it once and it wouldn't let me. There was something it didn't like.
Well, it was I'm over there because Dr. Schindler is on there. And he has this private group and stuff. And as do a couple of other people that I follow.
Is his private group called Schindler's List?
It's called the Schindler Group.
If I was him, I can tell you right now, it'd be called Schindler's List.
Yeah, well, Dr. Schindler was an NSA agent for many years. He says now he had a transplant of a live donor's sense of humor to him.
Well, now you know who the ambassador to North Korea and a CIA district manager, you know what famous person is famous person's uncle did all those things, don't you?
May. Who?
Adam Curry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that'll tell you. It's like, you know,
I still like Adam Curry. I don't listen to No Agenda anymore because I stopped funding them because I couldn't afford it. And because there is a podcast called No Agenda. And Melody doesn't like it. I like it.
I've never listened to it.
Oh, it's a very well done podcast. I really think if Melody listened to it, she would actually become a fan because it's a similar kind of humor to Melody. I think she'd like it. I think she'd like Dvorak.
My brother thinks I'm Jane Fonda. It's true.
Looks just like her.
But I am not a leftist. I'm a centrist. I always have been. I just think everybody should be able to do what they want to do in their private life as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. And that's pretty much me. And I don't want the government involved except to keep big business out of our business. And that's it. But, Mark and I actually agree on far more than we disagree.
Well, I'll say something Melody agrees with me on. There isn't a politician in any office that is looking out for you and me.
Oh, hell no.
None of them.
You know, that secret government when they're talking about CIA and NSA, those people watch out for us. They actually do. The FBI, not so much. Okay? Anything connected to a bureaucrat who gets elected is not looking out for us. We need to take care of ourselves.
And you don't even need to bother voting anymore.
Yeah,
because the elections are all rigged.
Yeah.
They are because look, you may not have liked Donald Trump. Okay? And the guy said some things that I didn't like. I don't think he was very well suited to public speaking, but I think he wasn't a politician, which is what I liked about him. But look at what's going on now. Look at the economy when Donald Trump was in office, and look at the economy now. And you have to have some concerns about who's running the country right now. I mean, let's face it. I think we can all look at what's going on right now, and you got to be concerned.
Well, this is the thing. I don't like Biden any more than I like Trump. I don't like any of them because they're all big business tools.
But Biden is not in charge.
No, of course not.
He's not. He can't put his jacket on.
Yeah, it's true.
He couldn't find his way from the helicopter to the White House.
Yeah, but
I feel sorry for the guy. I blame his wife. His wife should have never allowed them to stick him in the White House.
Well, that's just accepting the fact that the wife had some say in it.
Well, you would think she could talk to her husband and talk him out of doing it.
They had just lost their oldest son, and they had dirt on their other son. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's what they used to do. They now are, thanks to our evil CIA people, they've undercut the gangs that were running government, and there's going to be, it's still a big war. I mean, it's still ongoing, but there's going to be less of that blackmailing people into doing things. And
I think eventually what you're going to see is you're going to see some of these generals and admirals and things in the military get sick of what's going on.
Well,
and if they do, we may have something different going on here in this country.
Well, I don't want fascism either. So,
what's going on now? People are saying that what's going on is socialism. This is not socialism.
No.
This is communism.
Yes, exactly. Two entirely different things.
Yeah, this is not social. Socialism looks out for the people.
Yes, exactly.
This is not socialism.
It's
This is
communism.
communism.
It's
So-
good old-fashioned Chinese, Russian
Yep.
communism.
It's not Chinese and Russian. It's Chinese.
Well, yeah,
Because
Russia is using the same form. I meant.
if you look at the people and the country of Russia, that they are the closest to us of any other country. Their people are similar to us. They like a lot of the same things that we do. So the government doesn't like us, but I think the people are very similar.
The
Are
people
similar
are-
to us.
You know.
The population of China, they like our government more than they like their own government.
Yeah, it's always the problem.
Okay, we've got 9 minutes left, and we really haven't done much
we have
paranormal thing.
we
So
did a little at the beginning, thanks to Lisa, but yeah, we got off onto politics, and well, that's sort of what we do. But anyway, what I was going to talk about some of the ghosty things going on. There has been a large conference that's been convened because one of the large bodies of medical investigation at the University of Virginia has come out and said the afterlife is real. And they have concluded that NDEs are actual experiences. And they've done it based on hard data.
now,
So-
have you ever watched that show called The Afterlife?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Where
this
he
all
had-
comes-
He had those like 30 people on there that had all had after death experiences, and they interviewed that doctor who had done the study of his patients who had died and how they were aware of things that occurred while they were dead, which
Exactly.
would be impossible.
And there are so many studies now that we need to not worry about death. We need to worry about life. So
Oh,
what's
just
going on now?
Jessica Wolf said, power plant at Ukraine. Is something going on?
I know that there had been, the Russians were doing rather horrible things over there, trying to cause problems for Ukraine. But again, the usual. I wouldn't worry about that because national security will have that taken care of before we ever hear about it. So,
Now,
yeah.
I was about to say something and it slipped my mind. Never mind.
Okay,
So,
about the
Jessica,
Ukraine-
I don't know what's going on at the power plant at Ukraine, but with only 7 minutes to go, I really haven't got time to do the research and get back to you. So,
And really, we wouldn't know what to do about it anyway. I have enough trouble balancing my checkbook.
well, as long as Nancy Pelosi doesn't go over there, we'll be okay.
To bring the mob with her.
Well, she snuck into Taiwan.
I know.
The Chinese threatened to shoot her airplane down
Yeah.
if
Well,
she went there.
They got all kinds of people going over there now. So
I don't know if you heard about that. The Chinese actually threatened to shoot her airplane down if she went to
I know they did.
Taiwan.
I know they.
Now, and that's World War III.
Well, they're so used to us backing down, and
Well,
those days are gone.
now let me just. They would not have done that if Trump was the president, because he wouldn't have put up with it.
Well, he'd have missed his shorts in the.
No, he would have had an aircraft carrier over there accompanying Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi.
Well, see, that's not a good thing either.
Well, yeah, but you can't back down to these countries. If
We
you back
can't
down
now,
to
no.
them,
No, I
if you
agree.
back down to them, you're done.
I know. And we have to, and that's something Dr. Schindler has said many times. And I know I mentioned him like I'm quoting,
Oh, it's fine.
but he has said we really have to start kicking the slats out from under China. And, Obama did this long history of, it's so sad. We had
Well,
such hope.
what's going on now was started by Obama.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the one that eliminated. Are you aware of what the Smith-Mundt Act
Yes,
was?
I know the Smith-Mundt Act.
Okay, I did. A lot of people don't know what the hell it was.
Most people.
But
Because it snuck in.
just to tell you people, it was the law that required that no media or government organization could lie to the American people. They could not use what's the word I'm looking for?
They couldn't use
Propaganda.
propaganda.
Right. They couldn't use propaganda against the American people. Well, Obama got rid of it.
Yeah.
And made it legal for the news media to lie to Americans, to advertisers to lie to Americans. There used to be a law called the Truth in Advertising Act.
Yep.
And Melody remembers this. When we were kids,
Yep.
whenever they showed a toy flying through the air, they always had to show the kid's hand holding the toy.
Yes. Yep.
And they used to put at the end, toy will not fly on its own. And these were all things that were required by the Truth in Advertising Act.
Yep.
There is nothing like that now. You look at some of these ads you see on Facebook. Facebook allows all sorts of, it's mostly Chinese companies.
Yep.
And you'll see, there's one that's been going around. It's for this company that makes these big steel remote control tanks. And they sell for thousands of dollars. And they're really cool. I mean, you can ride on them and they drive around and fire things out of the cannons. But they put an ad, they show the video from the $3,000 or $4,000 tank, and then on the ad it says $29.
Yeah.
Now, they can't sell you that $3,000 tank for $29. And what you get is a little plastic tank that sells for like $10.
Well, a lot of people fell for the fish over on Facebook, where they showed that, animatronic model of the fish flopping around, and they got a plastic thing in the mail. Yeah, it's that kind of thing that can happen now. And I have to say, I worked to get Obama into office. I
voted
made
for
phone calls.
I voted for him.
And he just broke my heart. And
Really?
I stopped being believing in any kind of politician after that. And
Remember when he said that when I get into office, the first thing I'm going to do is bring our troops home from Afghanistan. Yeah. And you could take that to the bank. He spent 8 years in the White House.
Yep.
And never brought who brought our troops home from Afghanistan? Trump. And then at the very tail end, when we were ready to close things up, Biden blew it. We ended up leaving 85,000 pieces of military equipment in Afghanistan. We left them helicopters, trucks, tanks, all of those things because of the way the ending was orchestrated. And that's just terrible for us to lose all that equipment. It's time to go.
Yeah, I know. I have a Trump story that I'll tell next time. But Anyway, I'm not a
As long as it's not derogatory.
It is
We'll be
derogatory.
Well, then don't tell it.
Oh, okay. So we could tell
What I said was perfectly. Check it history wise.
Well,
Check up what I said and
everything I
look
say
it up.
is true. Everything I say is true.
Yes, but if you're going to say, orange haired, fat,
No,
son of a
nothing to
bitch
do
or
with
something.
physical.
That's what they do to Trump. That's what pisses me off. If you say something that he did, fine. I have no problem. If he said so, if you have proof that he said that, I have no problem with you. I just don't. You've seen yourself the way people treated him, and they didn't treat him properly as a president.
No, of course not. And they didn't. We go after people now. Anyway, it is time to wrap it up. I'm going to save our viewers from hearing me. So, you guys have a great week. We will see you next Sunday. We promise to talk about ghosts or science fiction or something like that.
Or something.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
Don't turn us off. Just you and me go out, and I'll play the
Okay.
music.
Go for it.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody.